Hey everybody, we got more cool new inventory to show you. Today we're going to check out a 1980 El Camino that just came in. I've had tons of cars coming in. We got tons of cool stuff to show you, so stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. This old El Camino here, car does run and drive. Car really looks pretty decent from the outside when you kind of get a good first glimpse out of it. However, it's got a pretty major problem that we can't see. It's actually got some frame rust in it. From the rear end back on the left side, that frame rail is pretty rough. So pretty much a parts car at this point. However, there's a lot of good parts on it. So let's check it out. Like I said, it's a 1980. So since we're right here at the front, let's show you what makes this a little bit different being an 80. It's got the single headlight on each side. Only 78, 79, 80, 81 use that. So this is the 80, 81 nose with the single big headlight. Pretty unique just in the first era of this G-body generation of these cars. But that stuff's tough to find. Everything here looks pretty good. It's not busted up, it's not broken, it's not chipped. There again, lots of good pieces left on this car. You know, the front end looks pretty good on it. It's even got a front spoiler on it. Just a little, it's loose on this side, but it's still there and intact, it looks like. This car had factory side moldings, factory rally wheels. We'll kind of work our way around this thing. We got a dent right here in the quarter panel. I think a deer or something, they said, kind of just like ran out of the ditch and ran into it or something weird like that. But as we work our way around this car, we see it's got the bed rails on it, which has done a pretty good job of protecting these bed moldings, which are typically clobbered on an El Camino. Really a pretty unmolested old car. We work our way on around the back, tailgate and everything's here. See a little more rust in the back bumper, just like we talked about when we've got the issue in this left rear frame rail that pretty much relegates this car to parts car status, but lots of good stuff here. It would take quite a bit of work to fix it. So, but as we get over to this side of the car is really pretty straight. No major dents, a little bit of rust starting to come through down low in the rear quarter panel, but nothing extremely serious really at all. Inside of this thing, we'll take a peek in here. You can look from here. I'm going to go around the other side and point out a few things. In here, obviously, we see we've got factory bucket seats, console, floor shift, factory tilt column for the floor shifter. You know, a lot of this stuff that's really hard to find, really desirable for these cars. There again, it's got a lot of good pieces, even though the car itself is rough. Flip open the container. You've got the ashtray up there in the front of the console. It does have an aftermarket radio that's been added. Aftermarket gauge cluster right here on top of the dash. Plus, we've got something else in here that's really interesting that definitely is a sign of the times. Right here, we've got your Whistler radar detector. Let's turn the key on and let's see it light up. Don't know if it works, but it's kind of funny to check it out. Blinky red lights and all. So, kind of a neat piece, definitely something from this era, definitely an 80s piece still in this car after all these years. Everything in here, just your typical 40-year-old car. The seats are worn, the dash is cracked. But there again, with a few exceptions such as the radio, the thing is intact, and that's tough anymore. And a lot of these parts are getting tough to find, and they're here. So, shame that the car's got a bad frame, but still going to be a lot of savable pieces that are definitely going to help some other restorations. Now, you've seen when I drove this thing up here, this whole car does run pretty good. Let's pop the hood and take a look under there. Under the hood, we've got a small block Chevy. This car was actually originally a little 4.4 liter, which was kind of an odd size that wasn't used very long. However, this has been replaced with a GM 350 Target motor at some point in its life. So I don't know for sure how many miles it has on it. Obviously we can hear the exhaust is a little weak, but the old car does really run pretty decent. Once again, other than the fact the motor has been swapped, it's intact under here. The AC stuff is there, the brackets, the lines. This thing is intact and untouched. So lots of good pieces still left on this one. Blower motor's even still running. We can even hear that a little bit. I guess I didn't get the key shut all the way off. But anyway, there she is. These things are getting so hard to find. I'm always glad to add one to inventory. Like I said, it's kind of a shame with the frame issues on this car, but there again, the fact this has a bad frame means that this car is going to help save a lot more with all the great pieces left on this car. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the Whistler radar detector, because that's definitely a super cool 80s piece. That's one great thing about dragging these old cars in. You never know what you might find in one of them, and sometimes you find some cool old period accessories. I think that's what they're supposed to call them, period accessories. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. You got any questions about this El Camino or any of the other 1,500 cars and trucks we've got on the ground here at Nobody's, just give me a shout, 620-786-4428. That number's on the page in the text part. You can click on it, get that number, give me a shout, so we can have a quick conversation about your project, year, make, model, body style, parts you need, things like that, or what you're looking for a project. With the amount of vehicles I've got on the ground, I need a lot of those specific details to know if I've got something here that might be able to help you out. So if you enjoyed this video, you like old cars, you like old trucks, you like memorabilia, be sure to check out my channel, Nobody's Show. Click that subscribe button, click that notification button. We do a lot of cool live stuff on here, tons of inventory coming in. We got a lot more cool videos to show you, so stay tuned. We'll see you soon on the next one.